A house burned down to the ground on Christmas Eve. 5 children trapped inside. But when the fire was out, there were no bodies, not even bones. So what really happened to the Sodder children? It was Christmas Eve 1945 in Fayetteville, West Virginia. The Sodder family had just finished celebrating. George and Jenny Sodder lived there with their 10 children. That night, 5 of them stayed up late and the others went to bed. At around 1 a.m, the house had caught fire, and fast. By the time George woke up, flames were already spreading through the home. He and Jenny rushed to get their children out. They managed to save some, but 5 were still upstairs. Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny and Betty. George tried everything. He ran outside to grab a ladder, but it was gone. He tried to start his trucks to reach the window, but neither would start. He ran to call for help, but the phone line was dead. Cut. The fire kept spreading, and there was nothing left to do but watch. By morning, the house was gone, reduced to ash. Investigators arrived and quickly came to the conclusion the 5 children had died in the fire. Well, case closed, you'd think. But there was one problem. There were no remains. There were no bones, no fragments, nothing. And that doesn't make sense, because even in intense fires, human remains are usually found. But here, there was nothing at all. Still, the case was closed. But George and Jenny didn't believe it, not for a second, because the fire wasn't the only strange thing that had happened that night. In the days leading up to it, a man had come to the house, pointing at the fuse box and saying, "This is going to cause a fire someday." Another strange call came that same evening, a woman asking for someone who didn't live there, laughing strangely just before hanging up. And during the fire, a neighbour later claimed they saw someone throw something at the house, something that caused the flames to begin. Then there was the phone line. Initially, this was reported as being burned through, but was later discovered it had been cut. And what about George's trucks? Both mysteriously failed at the exact same time. And the ladder? Well, that was found later, hidden in a nearby ditch. None of it added up. But what came next made it even harder to ignore. After the fire, people began reporting sightings. A woman had said she'd seen the children the very next morning, sat at a diner. Another claimed they were travelling with 2 men and a woman. Years later, a photograph arrived in the mail. A young man who looked almost identical to one of the missing boys, Louis. On the back, a message. "Louis Sodder, I love brother Frankie," it said. No return address and no explanation, just that. George Sodder refused to let it go. He put up a billboard with the faces of his missing children. He was offering a reward. He hired investigators. He spent years searching, because to him, this wasn't a tragedy. This was a disappearance. Officially, the Sodder children died in that fire. That's what the records say. But fires leave something behind. They leave bones, fragments, evidence. And in this case, there was nothing. There was no remains and no clear answer. Just missing children, strange circumstances, and a photograph that shouldn't exist. So the question still stands. Did 5 children die that night? Or were they taken and never seen again? If you've got your own theory on what happened, please leave it in the comments below. And if you enjoy uncovering stories like this, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on the notifications for further videos, because some stories don't stay buried. So until next time, remember, question everything, stay safe, Toodles.